the winner of our inaugural Top Creator Award for 2022, a sports professional that has warmed the hearts of many global audiences with his cooking skills and signature phrase, done. Then there's also Amos Ngahu, an established local MC who learned his MCing skills through TikTok and whose TikTok account at Money Gossip teaches financial literacy to emerging youth business owners and entrepreneurs. Finally, we all know of Elsa Majimbo, a creator who gained recognition during the COVID-19 quarantine days by making home-based comedy skits. Elsa is now a global phenomenon based in the United States and continues to share heartwarming anecdotes of her ever so colorful life to her global audience. A large part of what we do at TikTok is to support creators. For example, in 2023, we launched the Africa Creator Hub in partnership with the local agency, Wowzy, where a group of creators from sub-Saharan Africa graduated from the program, which is aimed at nurturing and upskilling their talent. This is all to help them leverage their creative expression and use their talents to earn livelihoods. Parallel to that is our evergreen program called #LevelUpAfrica. The program provides support to creators across the continent with tools to create higher quality content using all the features and resources available to them on our platform. We also use the program to educate our creator community on our community guidelines and provide insights into how to build a career using TikTok. Fourthly, driving learning and education. TikTok is used as a platform by millions of Kenyans to educate themselves and others on topics around entrepreneurship, financial literacy, cooking, and sports, to mention a few. This has made learning more accessible and engaging. For example, today, the hashtag #LearnOnTikTok has over 33 million videos created by the community and showcases easy-to-follow instructions on such things as how to manage your personal finances, or exercises to improve your mental and physical health, or how to write an eye-catching CV. Fifth, the creative economy. I'd like to talk about the creative economy in Kenya. As you might be aware, in February 2023, the Ministry of Youth Affairs launched the Talenta Hela project, a flagship plan to support talents in the sports and creative industries. The project is in line with the government's bottom-up economic transformation agenda and aims to discover, nurture, and monetize Kenyan talent. The digital creative industry has emerged as one of the fastest growing sectors in the Kenyan economy. This serves not only as a source of employment, but also as a catalyst for national cohesion. Kenya's internet infrastructure journey has been a remarkable tale of overcoming challenges and transforming into a digital powerhouse, enabling the country to harness the power of technology to drive economic growth and improve the lives of its citizens. Indeed, harnessing the power of the digital economy is one of the key development pillars of the current Kenya Kwanza government. And lastly, but definitely not least, I want to talk about the role of platforms such as TikTok in expanding the democratic and civic space for Kenyans of all walks of lives to express themselves and take part in civic processes and debates on matters that affect their lives. Freedom of expression is a right that is guaranteed by the Constitution of the Republic. And open, robust debates, such as those you would see online, are a part of the lifeblood of democracy. Shutting down those spaces would be tantamount to silencing citizens and denying them their constitutional rights. Honorable Chairperson and members of the committee, we also recognize that with any large platform comes a huge responsibility. At TikTok, We understand the concerns raised about our platform, and we take this very seriously. That is why we are here today to respond to those concerns, correct misconceptions, and hopefully adequately demonstrate our commitment to keeping our Kenyan community safe online. Safety is one of our key priorities at TikTok. It is our North Star. It is our guiding light on everything that we do to ensure we remain a platform that inspires creativity and brings joy to more than 1 billion users worldwide. As a platform that thrives on creativity, it is important that our users feel safe and comfortable online. Our user policies and tools are developed to promote a positive and safe community environment for our community. Known as community guidelines, these policies define a set of norms and a common code of conduct for TikTok users. They provide guidance on what is and what is not allowed on the platform to make it a welcoming space for everyone. At TikTok, we provide our community with a wide range of tools and resources to help them manage their experience on the platform. These tools include, but are not limited to, our industry-first family pairing tool that lets caregivers pair their accounts to those of their teens, the teens under their care. We also have screen time management features, which allows users to own and manage their screen time when using the app. Our Safety Center also provides helpful resources for new and existing users, families, and caregivers to help them build an online experience that is right for them. There is always more to be done when it comes to keeping our community safe. This is our admission. We currently have more than 40,000 trust and safety professionals worldwide working around the clock to protect our community. We have begun investing more than $2 billion globally in trust and safety efforts this year alone to make this a reality. Honorable members, to address the concerns raised in the petition, we have prepared a few slides today that I'll just show you after this, which will focus on the following areas. A look into TikTok, including a focus on our ownership structure, a deep dive into our community guidelines, and a look at how we actually moderate content on TikTok, a specific focus on how we deal with issues of minor safety, misinformation, and how we protect user privacy, an exploration of some of the work we have done in Kenya for the creator economy, as well as some of our safety campaigns. Finally, we are also going to talk how we work with governments, media, and civil society groups to keep the platform safe. Finally, I'd like to take this opportunity to invite this committee and any other government bodies, members of the legislature, the executive, and other agencies to a tour of our Transparency and Accountability Center in Dublin, in Ireland. Through this tour, you'll be able to see firsthand how teams at TikTok go about the critically important work of securing our community safety, including how we use technology to keep our community safe, how moderation teams make decisions about content based on the policies in our community guidelines, the way human reviewers supplement our moderation efforts using technology to help catch potential violations. And in addition to content moderation, the visit will offer detailed insights into our recommendation technology and our commitment to data privacy and security. Locally, we will continue with capacity building workshops for local policymakers and regulatory agencies on how TikTok works, with a special focus on online safety, data privacy, and how we moderate content on TikTok. We deeply value the opportunity to contribute to keeping our Kenyan community safe on our platform, and look forward to collaborating more closely with all our stakeholders in Kenya, including the government, the media, civil society, parents, teachers, guardians, and our wider user community itself. Keeping Kenyans safe online requires a collaborative effort as well as collective action. And our commitment to this is ongoing and unwavering. Because, as we always like to say, there is no finish line when it comes to safety online. Honorable Chair and esteemed members of this committee, thank you for your time and consideration thus far. If you can, with your permission, please allow us then to proceed with our presentation that is going to show some of these issues that I've said in the opening remarks. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. And in terms of management of time, how long more do you think you require?
Honorable Chair, I would want 30 minutes, but yes, I think 30 minutes should be fine. What we've also done is we've provided some materials on your folders, so you can just look on your folders. That will allow us to zip through some of those slides there.
Yes, I think we'll allow you 15 to 20 minutes because we are in session in the next few minutes, I think. So 15, 20 minutes.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. I will take that time. Okay, so I'm just going to zip through these. I don't know how it proceeds. I finish first and then the questions later, right?
I think so.
Yes, thank you. Okay. Please pardon me, I'll be looking this side instead of the room. Okay, thank you. All right, so in terms of the agenda, this is what we're going to talk about today. Introduction to TikTok, keeping our platform safe, how we keep the platform safe, a deep dive on content moderation, as well as minor safety, data privacy and protection, and finally, how we can collaborate with the government of Kenya. Next slide. Next. Thank you. TikTok is a global company with which is present in over 150 countries and regions worldwide. We have language support in more than 75 languages and 50 plus global offices and growing. So you have to appreciate, I have to say this right from the bat, that we're still a small company, we're still growing. So we may not be as established as some of maybe the industry partners, industry peers, but we're hoping to get there as well in terms of our footprint. Next. So this, we brought up this slide to try and explain, because we saw that in the petition there was quite a lot of questions around our ownership, and we wanted to be very clear from the word go that TikTok belongs to a company, a holdings company called ByteDance Limited. So TikTok is one of the many products under ByteDance. And ByteDance was formed by two individuals of a Chinese origin. And our headquarters, our global headquarters are in Singapore, in Dublin, and Los Angeles in the United States. TikTok is not available for download in China, but it's a global product that serves the rest of the world except China. So in terms of ownership itself, 60% of TikTok is actually owned by global investors, the majority of them Americans, and some from East Asia. The rest of the 20% is owned by our founder, and the remaining 20% by the employees, such as ourselves. We're also part of the ownership scheme. Next, Magda. I mentioned this in my opening remarks that our mission is to inspire creativity and to bring joy. This is a mission that we take very, very seriously. So everything that we do is focused around this mission to make sure that the platform remains safe and people are able to be very creative and to enjoy themselves on the platform. Everything that we then do is focused on that. I've already mentioned this. We have over 1 billion people every month that come to the platform to be entertained. For us, we're very, very proud of this number. We see it as a vote of confidence in what we're doing. And so we try to make sure that our community continues to enjoy the platform. Why do they come to TikTok? Why do they love it? So for many people, it's got different meanings for many people. Primarily, we are an entertainment platform, but people are increasingly using TikTok as a place to learn something new. Some of our users see it obviously for the creativity itself. Creative expression is one of the key features of TikTok. And as I said in the remarks, TikTok has also increasingly become a place to grow your business. we are seeing many business owners, whether startups or entrepreneurs or big businesses or small businesses, coming onto the platform to help their products and services and to reach out directly to their clients. And also,
Sorry to interject, sir.
yes, sir.
Is the presentation the same as this, or that is different? What we've been given?
Yes, I would assume it is.
Is it the same?
No, we haven't provided the presentation to you. I don't think in the folders is there. No.
Okay, so
Yes.
ramp through.
Yes, I will. I will.
quickly as you
Thank
can.
you. Thank you. Next slide. So this next slide is to explain some of the issues that have been raised in the petition in terms of our algorithm. There were questions around how it works. So the point we wanted to make here is that our algorithm, the way that you enjoy content or consume content on TikTok is based on your interests. So our algorithm looks at a variety of factors, including what we call watch rate. If you watch a video and you also visit that creator's other videos, maybe you rewind or reshare that video, the algorithm assumes that you like this kind of content, and then we recommend it for you. So there is the watch rate, the shares, and also the people that you follow, other accounts that you follow, as well as the likes and comments that you make. So you'll find that for me, for example, no two TikTok timelines are the same. Hers is different from mine, from hers, and so on and so forth, because it's based on what I want to watch. So that's how the algorithm works. And then here I just want to talk about what we've been doing in Kenya, a majority of which we have already mentioned here. I've got these videos here. Maybe I can just play one. Play the Roy Kanye one.
Hi.
Yeah, just one.
Kanye. On TikTok, I am known as Roy Kanye. I am a tech creator. Most of my content is informing people about the tech space and converting it in a way that inawezekeleweka na common mwananchi. TikTok has really helped me as a person and also as a brand that I am becoming. One, I did statistics in uni, and during that time, I was on TikTok. I learned how to edit videos, I learned how to script my videos properly, how to record and shoot videos better. And these skills that I got on TikTok enabled me to get a job at Standard, KTN. I was able to be on the news, I was presenting to you what's trending, and those are some of the benefits I've gotten from TikTok. Leave alone a job, I have also worked with companies directly on TikTok, companies like Google, companies like ALX, international and local. And I will just say this, if TikTok is, let's say, banned in Kenya, it would really affect me as a creator, because that is where I get most of my money from compared to my 8 to 5. You know, the president keeps saying, pesa kwa vijana. So, kama TikTok na hapa ndio vijana tunapata pesa, ikitolewa, je, serikali itapata ada yake? So please, let's not ban TikTok.
Thank you for your indulgence, Honorable Chair. Next slide. So what we are seeing on the platform in Kenya, the top categories, and these are in no particular order. So the most popular content formats, comedy is high up there, entertainment, motivation, sports. Kenyans love their sports, especially football, rugby, and motorsport. We also have beauty, makeup tutorials, fashion, as well as lifestyle. You know, there's a growing community around food, travel, and tourism. So this is some of the majority of the things that we're seeing trending in Kenya on TikTok. And then in the past, go on, Magda. In the past, we just looked at in the past 14 days, what were the user community in Kenya looking at. Quite some surprising, favorites there, including Kikuyu comedy, Swahili TikTok, music, gospel music. We're just coming out of Easter, as well as, Kenyan TikTokers. So these are hashtags that people use to create content, but also create communities around that content. So this is some of the work that we have done in Kenya, some of the partnerships that we have done. We're very happy, Honorable Chair, to provide more detail separately about some of these partnerships if you want to see. These are just snapshots. So on safety, we've partnered with Eve Minet, where we're running a campaign called Safer Together. So in addition to the tools that I've talked about to protect users, we're also running workshops on the ground. And so far, these workshops have reached 21 out of Kenya's 47 counties, and we hope to continue to roll out these workshops to reach as many people, especially parents, especially teachers and guardians and schools. And then in 2022, we partnered with the IEBC as well as the NCIC to help get rid of misinformation on the platform. So we launched a website, a portal together with the Electoral Commission to educate our user community on TikTok on what to expect on the elections, but we also did a lot of media literacy as well, so that they are not part of the problem in spreading misinformation, but they can also help us curb misinformation. This is standard practice. We do it around Africa, where there are, elections, very important elections. We take part in these partnerships. We've done similar in Nigeria. There are plans for South Africa right now, as well as Ghana and other countries. Then we've got programs that we do that I've already mentioned, such as the Africa Creator Hub. This is a boot camp that we set together to help skill our creators in Kenya so that they can produce better quality content that can appeal to global audiences. Next. This is the same again with Level Up Africa as well as with African All Stars. We're just coming out of the Kalasha Film Festival, where we partnered with the Kenya Film Commission, again providing training to to filmmakers in Kenya on how they can thrive and build their careers on TikTok. Next one. The next slide is on community guidelines. I like to say whenever I start talking about this bit is like every household, there are rules. So the rules in TikTok are actually the community guidelines. So all the safety messages that we are talking about are based around our community guidelines. And then in terms of the community guidelines themselves, and we're happy to provide more details separately as printout or as handouts about these community guidelines. We value that our users come from different nationalities, different values, different cultures. And so when we develop these community guidelines, we like to take into cognizance of these differences. So what we do, these community guidelines are not developed in a vacuum at all. We take into cognizance many factors. We consult with regulators, with experts, with NGOs. We look at social values, cultures. We also take into consideration local laws in these jurisdictions where we're present. And then when we implement these, we then look at, because in different countries, something that's acceptable may not be acceptable to another. That's where then we try to make the difference. Next. And then in enforcing these are just the principles in terms of, first of all, we want to prevent harm. We want to enable free expression. And most of these foster civility, respect local contexts, and so on and so forth. Most of these principles are global standards that you would even find here in Kenya, whether in some laws or in constitutions around free expression and preventing harm. The community guidelines themselves, as we develop them, they are not cast in stone. Right, we are always refining them and changing them over time. I just want to show you the next slide, which shows how the community guidelines used to look like just a few months ago. But in March 2023, we actually changed them to take into account, because as you would appreciate, there are new threats and new forms of bad content that are always coming up and developing. So we also need to refine our approach on that. Again, the note is that this is just high-level summaries of the community guidelines. They are all available on our website, and there are pages and pages of them. So currently, we've organized them into 7 themes. So these 7 themes are around youth safety, safety and civility, mental and behavioral health, sensitive and mature themes, integrity and authenticity, regulated goods, as well as privacy and security. The next set of slides show you what is then contained under each community guideline. So when we're talking about safety and civility, issues like harassment and cyber abuse are subsumed there. Issues to do with youth exploitation are also there, human exploitation, gender-based violence, violent and hateful organizations and individuals. So all of that is contained under that community guideline. So for example, again, sensitive and mature themes, we are looking at shocking and graphic content, sexual activities, nudity and body exposure, and so on. Go on, Magda. So what the community guidelines are actually saying is that this is the kind of content that we do not allow. Now, when I talk in the next slides about moderation, it means we are applying these rules to take down the content. Next one. So privacy and security. So the first one, there on integrity and authenticity, is looking at stuff like misinformation, something that was raised in the petition. This one is around data and privacy. Next one. Around mental and behavioral health. You can go to the next one. And then this next 2 to 3 slides, I want to talk about how then we take those community guidelines and then moderate the content that we find on TikTok being uploaded by the users, and immediately we deploy our machine learning technology. By and far, the majority of the content that we take down on TikTok, probably 95%, is taken down by machines. That because they are more efficient in terms of the volumes that we're dealing with globally. They are able to learn over time, and we're able to also instruct them that if this kind of content comes in, take it down immediately. So they are much quicker. But after the machines come in, and then we have the human beings. So the human beings now come in to evaluate that content that maybe needs a bit more attention in terms of local languages. Some of the content could be a joke, it could be sarcasm, it could be humor. Machines may not be able to detect that. So this is why human beings actually watch that content, and then they can decide if it can be allowed or we should restrict it, or whatever action that we want to do. Towards the end of that funnel there is then we have issue-specific teams, because there are some kinds of content where it's not enough to just take down. There is some kinds of content where you need to collaborate with law enforcement. For example, the more egregious forms of content, like we're talking about child abuse, for example, it's not enough to take it down. You need to report that to the relevant law enforcement in those countries. So we now have those teams that will deal with specific agencies in the countries that we speak. Then towards the end of that funnel is then the content that the users will be able to see. You can go into that. I just wanted to make the point again that while our community guidelines are global in nature, we take into context the local context, especially when it comes to cultural differences as well as to linguistic differences in the countries where we are present. Next slide. Part of also what we do as part of fighting misinformation is that we partner with fact checkers. Fact checkers is a network of organizations that can then look at some of this content if it's disputed and try to see if this is true or it's not true. They then make the decision and advise us. And then on that advice, we can then decide if we can take the content down or we can leave it up, or whatever other action that we're going to do. Here in Africa, our main fact-checking partners is AFP and Code for Africa, that actually I think have their headquarters here in Nairobi. Next one. So what we also do, we don't just stop at us applying the community guidelines and taking down the content. We are an industry first in terms of actually publishing the amounts of content that we've taken down as part of our commitment to transparency, so that our users and our stakeholders, such as government, can see how much content we've taken down. So every 3 months, we publish what we call the Community Guidelines Enforcement Report, which shows how much content we've taken down. And this report is actually publicly available. I would encourage honorable members to have a look at it so that you can actually see this in practice. The global figures that I have here in Q4 2023, so that's the period ending December 2023, we are working on the one for 2024 now. We removed just over 176 million videos for violating our community guidelines. I know this is a huge number, but we take pride in the fact that actually that constitutes about 1% of the total videos uploaded on TikTok during that time. This shows that by and large, the majority of the content is in line with our community guidelines, but there's always going to be that 1%, obviously, that violates the community guidelines. And our ambition is to get rid of that as well. So in terms of other interesting facts that I want to share, of those pieces of videos that we've put there, 96.7% of the videos were identified even before users reported them. So again, that's our machines having taken it down. So they were not live, the users didn't report, but we had already taken them down. 77% of the videos globally were identified and removed before they received any views. And another statistics that we're proud of is 89.9% of the videos were identified and removed within 24 hours of being posted. In the next slide, we also go into a bit more detail that of that total, What are the major violations in terms of percentages? So you're going to see that for this specific report, you'll see that mature and sensitive themes constituted about 33% of the content that violated our guidelines. And then we're going to list everything as we are going down. What we also do with this report, we leave the historical reports online so that for researchers especially, you can go in and see if there are any changes in trends in terms of bad content, if it's increasing or it's decreasing, and which specific categories we should worry about. The next slide focuses on Kenya. During that specific period, in Kenya, we took down just over 269,000 videos for violating our community guidelines. And of that, 98.8%, oh, sorry about that, 98.8% of the videos were identified and removed before a user reported them, and 82.6%, sorry about that, Chair. 82.6% of the videos were identified and removed within 24 hours of being posted. Next slide. Our community can play a role as well. So it's not just the technology that we've invested, but we've gone on to invest actually in tools that will enable our users, our community to report. And reporting is a key way in which we can actually be aware of some of the very localized cases of bad content that we may not have picked up at the beginning. So the moderation process still continues, but now we're using our user community. So we've built in tools that families can use or users themselves can use to actually report that content. Next slide. So for example, for user reporting, we've made it very easy that if you see a piece of bad content, long press on it, then this comes up. Select the reason why you want to report this. Is it animal cruelty? Is it hate speech or harassment? We've got teams that are working 24/7 around the globe that are actually waiting for these reports. What they then do is they not just analyze a specific video that you reported, they look at other videos from that creator or what else they are resharing or who else is resharing that content, so that maybe if there's a network of people that are sharing bad content, we can get rid of it all at once. So the same process is the same if you are reporting a video that you've seen on TikTok, as well as if you are reporting a video that you have seen on live. So you long press during a live and say, this is what you're reporting for, and then our moderation teams will proceed. We also have a safety center. Again, this is information we can provide to the committee on detail, but going more into detail about scams, election integrity. Here, we're trying to educate their users to give them resources so that they can protect themselves. This next bit is to talk about minor safety. One little known fact about TikTok is that, and we always say that wherever we go, TikTok is a 13+ app, which means that if you're under the age of 13, you should not be on the platform. And then even those that are between the ages of 13 and 18, there are certain features that we've built into TikTok because yes, they may look grown as teens, but they're still young adults. So in terms of how they access the content, they need to be guided. And so from a platform perspective, we've built in a few tools. Go to when were you born? Not your age, rather, your birth date. You fill in that, and if it turns out that you're under the age to be allowed to be on the platform, you're then restricted from opening an account on that. So it's one of the first sort of like ways we try to control. And I always say, when I speak to parents and guardians, like some of you here in the room, if someone under your care is on TikTok, it's advised to take their phone and check their profile. What age did they put there? Because if, for example, they are 18 and they put that they are 30 or 40, it means that the algorithm assumes this is an adult. And so the kind of content that may be exposed to them may not be age appropriate. So it's very important to, as a parent or a guardian, to look into those things. That will be the first level of protection for a minor under your care. We also have some amazing tools for families, including, screen time limits. You can, by default, for example, for our younger users, we've set a screen time limit of 60 minutes per day on TikTok by default, so that we want you to look up and do other things other than just be on your phone and be scrolling endlessly. Next. We also have introduced some tools around anti-bullying, and so that when people want to say nasty things, for example, when they're posting, we can detect that the language you're using is not appropriate. We can then ask you, are you sure you want to post this? Next slide. One of the tools that we're very proud of that we need to talk a bit more about is our family pairing app. This one allows you as a parent to pair your phone with your child's phone, which then enables you to be able to monitor what kind of content your child is viewing online. It also enables you to whitelist or blacklist some accounts. It enables you as well to set the screen time limits. Maybe if you decide, you can say for your child, for the minor under your care, that screen time limit is 20 minutes, you can actually just set it on your phone. They won't be able to access the app after the time has passed. We cannot do it. We cannot go at it alone, and this is very important for us. We have many partnerships here in Kenya as well, including Watoto Watch and Everminet that I've already mentioned. That are the ones. I've mentioned this campaign, which is called Safer Together. Next slide, please, Magda. These are just some of the pictures from the campaign, and these are some of the campaigns that we're doing with local media here in Kenya, in this case, Capital FM. The program is called Bonga. It focuses on mental health. Mental health issues are some of the issues that have been raised in the petition. Next. And then the next bit is talking about data and privacy. We are very clear to our users in our privacy policy, as well as our terms of service, about what data we collect and what we collect it for. There were some of the issues that were raised in the petition, and even this same information is contained on our website. So we collect information such as your account information, when you sign in, your username, in some cases your phone number, your email address, and so on. And this is industry standard with most apps. You collect this information to enable the person to actually use the service. We collect behavioral information. As I said earlier, we analyze how then you interact with certain kinds of content in order for us to be able to recommend what we think would be the content that you like. So for example, if you like that video from this creator, next time you power TikTok, we can suggest, hey, this creator has also done this new video. Do you want to check it out? Or something like that. We also collect technical information such as IP address and so on, as well as information from third parties. For example, when you log in these days, as per industry standards, you can log into an account using your Facebook or your Google account. You don't need to create a new username altogether. So this is actually very industry standard. And then we're also very clear in our privacy policy for what purposes do we collect this personal data. We collect it for recommendations. I've already mentioned this, so that we can personalize the experience for you. We collect it for safety as well, so that we can ensure your safety and the security of our data. We collect it to improve the user experience, and we also collect it for advertising. TikTok primarily is an advertising company. So we collect some of the information on how you interact with the content so that we can serve the appropriate ads for you. Personalized, sorry. Then when it comes to younger users, there is an extra layer because we are aware that the information of younger users needs an extra layer of protection, and these are some of the layers that we've put in. So for example, setting the accounts of those under 18 to private by default, and then for users between 13 and 14, no one can comment except only your friends. And if you're also under the age, no one can download the videos. We don't make the accounts of younger users discoverable. So you cannot search a name of a young user and try to find where is their TikTok account and make sure that it's not discoverable. So this is just another layer of that we're adding in order to protect their privacy. We also run some campaigns